Hey fellas, so I'm doing this over on this channel, the Crapshoot channel, just because I'm trying to keep this off my game content channel, because obviously people go there primarily just for my takes on games. So Crapshoot's where all the crap goes. It's not that. So I want to just address some of these comments. You know me, I mean, as much as I get frustrated at some of these anti-SJW people, I do always try to keep an open mind, but I want to read some choice comments that I can't quite square, or I don't quite understand. As for my face, you're like, what's on your face? It was a long story. It's nothing. It was a stream thing I did. Okay. So basically what I said the other day or yesterday was hating on specific movies, like a lot of the Marvel movies, that have women in them doesn't make you misogynist, racist, etc. I said loudly and constantly hating on those specific female-led movies, but staying mostly quiet on equally bad male-led movies is what makes you a misogynist. And I had a number of these guys come at me and go, not all guys, mostly guys, but there were some women, go, oh, you just haven't been part of the conversation. We hate all those bad movies too. And I'm like, first off, bitch, I'm 51 years old. I've been a geek longer than most of you have been alive. I read Starlog. I went to I went to one of the first Dragon Cons in Atlanta. Don't bring your fucking geek bona fides my way. You think I don't know the reviews and the ratings and the zeitgeist perception of geek movies when they come out and geek TV shows? Get the fuck out of here, okay? I'm aware. That's not my point, though. And I'll give you, here's a great example of it. So this guy, amazingly unacceptable shoe animator, whatever. He says, what makes you think people are quiet on equally bad male-led movies? If a movie's shit, it's shit, regardless of the genitalia involved. You just have corporate blinders on. I'll get to the corporate blinders in a second. Yeah, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a real slave to the corporation. So my point is not that we all don't rally around and criticize movies that we think are bad, okay? The point is that when you look at the consistent and aggressive and mean-spirited and never-ending criticism of those films, they tend to be the female-led films. Here's a great example. You know what I still hear about today? Fucking Ghostbusters in 2016. You almost can't have this conversation without hearing about an 8-year-old fucking movie, which I liked it. I didn't love it, but it was funny. It was cool, whatever. The ghosts were great, but whatever. You almost can't have this conversation. I'm still hearing about Ghostbusters. That was 2016. If you go to the list of the 25 worst movies of 2016, and that one, you know, surprise, surprise, is not in here, you've got a number of male-led geek films. Independence Day Resurgence. Metacritic is at 32. Never fucking hear people complaining about that movie. You have, where's this other one? London Has Fallen, male-led action movie, 28 out of 100. I'm not saying you've never thought about a time where you've said, oh, dude, we're not watching London Has Fallen. That's shit. Of course. But this is not the poster child for bad geek films. You know, if you go back one more year, it was the last Pirates Johnny Depp made, which I think it was like on Stranger Tides or whatever. And that's, I think, sitting at a 30 or a 36 on Rotten Tomatoes. Nobody complains about that other than like, hey, which pirates do you want to watch? Oh, let's watch the first one. They get worse. But no one's so don't come at me with this horse shit. That it's just such a bullshit shield. Oh, we're an equal opportunity complainer. No, you're not. No, you're not. If equal takes into account the frequency, the aggressiveness, and the inability to let it go, no, you're not an equal opportunity reviewer. And again, you have that right. I support your right to feel the way you clearly feel about women. But just own it. Just be okay with it. Just kind of go, look, you know, I don't like modern feminism. I don't like women coming into places where I don't think they belong. Just fucking be a fucking woman, or in most cases, man, and fucking own your perspective. But then this guy goes on and says, you have corporate blinders on. You only see criticism of female characters because that's all your corporate masters have told you about. Who sounds like the more brainwashed one here? Who sounds like the guy who's being bamboozled by the powers that be? It certainly ain't me. And then this is another one I'm curious about. Like I said, I'll believe it if I see it. I had a guy, again, I promised the guy I wouldn't reveal the company, but I had a very well-known video game creator tell me that a very big video game company does have a checklist of diversity and saying, hey, you know, we're not going to force you to do anything necessarily, although maybe in some cases they do, but we would like you guys at the least to think about, you know, could you flesh out your cast so we get more of a reflection of America versus just everybody's the same. And I was like, oh shit, I never knew that. And so my mind is open if you present facts, but this new one that I'm seeing a lot based on this conversation or my tweets that people are throwing my way are this idea that the movie studios intentionally create, it's kind of like a guerrilla warfare marketing that whenever they have a product that they don't think is going to do well, they intentionally push the social justice agenda and they go after the people online that are attacking it and shaming them and making them look bad. There's a word for it. I forget what it is. Now, do I feel that studio, anyone really, but advertisers in general, will manipulate social media to their gain? Of course. And you know, maybe there are some studios out there that said, hey, let's get ahead of this story. People hate this movie. Let's try to put the narrative out there that people hate it because of its political view or its view on women or men or whatever. Do I believe that's possible? Yeah, sure. Just as much as they'll probably, you know, they pick the best quotes to put on the movie poster back in the day in the newspapers and in the ads. You know, of course they're going to manipulate what they can get away with. But you guys talk about it like it's this big conspiracy, like all the movie studios have teams that are like, let's push our social agenda. And then if people push back on it, here are our tactics. And again, I don't believe you, okay? But provide me evidence of it. I've had so many people coming at me today quoting a bunch of talking points that they probably fucking got. Who knows where they got them? Probably somebody on the internet. You know, be an alpha. Don't let people take your rights away, but whatever. But maybe not. Maybe there's like, no, dude, there was a fucking report that came out from Disney that the Wall Street Journal exposed, and it literally said, there are 5 tactics we're going to use to push back on these people, and here's one of them. We have a whole group in the studio that's going to go into social media and push back on the anti-SJW. Provide that to me. And then we can have that conversation, and I won't think you're just like a brainwashed, easily led moron. But right now, without that data, you're just saying shit. The last thing I'll say is I had this woman, I've muted her. I take Colin Moriarty's advice now. I don't ban anybody or block them. I just mute them. That way I still get the benefit of them clicking on my shit in terms of the algorithm, but I don't have to put up with their idiocy. But I had this woman come at me and she was like, you're wrong about the people not saying bad things about male movies too. And I said, okay, can you show me the evidence? And I said, well, I pointed her to the Quartering. And I said, if you look at the Quartering, which I did this yesterday, who's one of the biggest voices in the anti-SJW YouTube space, you're not going to find many or any. I couldn't find any, but I'm sure they're there. He's been doing this for a long time. You're not going to find many videos of him criticizing London Has Fallen or criticizing Thor Dark World. I don't even know if there's many videos criticizing. There might be one of the new Thor because of Jane is in it, but you will find ad nauseum sexism, transphobia videos, homophobia videos, Little Mermaid. See, it's the racial thing. All good goddamn long day. Multiple times of the same story given a little bit different of a twist. So, and I says to this lady, I says, well, you know, what about that? And she's like, well, that I need receipts. That's not evidence. And so I said to her, I said, okay, not a problem. Can you tell me what kind of evidence would be sufficient? Because what I provided you is sufficient enough for me. What kind of evidence do you need? And I will go out and I will procure it if it exists. And if it doesn't, I'll come back and say, yeah, I couldn't find any evidence of that. But, you know, I'm trying to convince you. So can you help me out and tell me I'll go do the work? But What do you need? What would convince you? And she totally dodges that question. Is like, oh, you're the accuser. The burden of proof is on you. I'm like, yes, I'll take on the burden. I'll deal with the burden of proof, but you got to tell me what the proof that is, I'm like a waiter at a restaurant. What do you want? Oh, I'd like pancakes. Okay, I'll go do the work. The chef's going to cook them and I'll bring them to you and all that. You just got to eat them and pay for them. I'm not asking you to do the research. But if you can't tell me, I'm just going to start bringing you things every day. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? And you'll never have to lose the argument that way. So come the fuck on, lady. Anyway, I find these people worrisome, fascinating idiots. I'm compassionate towards them because they seem like they have a lot of anger. They seem like they really feel like they're getting a shit deal. And nobody needs to feel that way. Even though I don't like these guys politically, I don't want anybody to feel like they don't count. But the way they're going about it, man, I think they push most rational people away. It's just like, you guys are, what do you believe in? Where are you getting your evidence from? And don't fucking come at me either like, oh, you're just a fucking SJW. No, I'm not. I'm the guy that went on video today and said the fucking new, whatever they call it, Project Eve, the new name from Square. It was from Square. I was like, oh, it's so nice to see a super fucking hot Asian woman as a hero in a game. Skin tight suit, beautiful fucking legs. She's sexy as fuck. Okay. I'm not one of these guys that's like, I'm the one who said, if I were to make God of War again, I would push to have sex mini games in it. I don't know if I could do it in this day and age, but I would absolutely push for it. I am not opposed to overt sexuality. I'm not opposed to big masculine ideas on the screen and big feminine ideas on the screen. But I'm also opposed to, or what I am opposed to is just being a fucking dogmatic follower of someone else's view that, let's be fair, is probably being used to monetize you so you make them money. I mean, come on. You think a lot of these YouTube channels don't salivate the minute something like this goes down? I'm not saying I'm the big story, but like something like The Little Mermaid or the Marvel movies or whatever. Of course, they're like, I can feast on this for days. I can make 20, let's get all the men riled up and angry videos out of this. Come on. Anyway, there you go. That's my take. That's why this isn't on the game channel. I don't watch it. Don't watch it. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about the thumbnail. This is where I put stuff that I just think is worth talking about and debating, but I'm not going to try to make it nice and friendly. Just kind of go for it. Do what you want with it. Be well, whether we agree or not. Be safe out there. Be well. Be kind. I hope your day and your night is going great. See you later.